ladies and gentlemen. I say morning. I am going to try and put this out as early as possible. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Real quickly before we get into the video, if you could subscribe, smash the like button, and also any comments that you've got, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section down below for your thoughts and considerations. And if you agree with what I'm saying, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, absolutely fine. And just as another point before we go on, just again, a real big thank you to Jer at the View, just for having me on and allowing me to have a chance to speak with some like-minded people. I really do appreciate it and appreciate the opportunity. So thanks very much for that, and hopefully I'll be able to do some more of those in the future. So yes, a big thanks for that. It was really, really good fun. I really, really enjoyed it. So today we are going to have a little bit of a chat about our next upcoming game tomorrow, which is against Coventry. Obviously, we're looking for an immediate bounce back from how we did midweek, and probably what I think we would all agree is probably the most lackluster and tired-looking performance of the team so far this season. So, looking at it, this is more coming from a Coventry point of view and where Coventry have been playing and how they've been doing. I think currently at the moment they're fifth in the form table, I think, overall. So looking at their last kind of few games, and forgive me, I'm going to be smashing between a couple of sites here, just going through the last few games. So they drew 1-1 with Southampton the last game. Game before that, on the 8th of December, they beat Birmingham City 2-0. They lost to Ipswich 2-1. And then going back into November, they beat Coventry. They beat Plymouth 1-0, and they beat Millwall 3-0. Drew against Stoke, and then lost to Preston North End. So it's a little bit up and down, a little bit all over the place. They're doing quite well. Obviously, one of the biggest differences this season is they don't have Gustavo Hammer anymore. He's now at Luton, playing his trade there. So that was a big playmaker for them, and how they, in terms of how they play and what they did and what he was able to do for them. So that's a massive, massive difference in terms of what they can do. Now, overall, they have, or Sky would have you believe that they play a kind of a 4-4-2 formation. I think it's a little bit different to that. I don't think that's always quite the case. I know we were discussing it on the View on the podcast. I think it's more of a 4-3-3 kind of formation, but it's saying down that it's a 4-4-2 formation. So looking at it overall, when you look at their stats, their two forward players, Godden and Wright, have 13 goals between them. So Godden's got 7 and Wright's got 6, and then you've got O'Hare and Sims coming in with a couple of goals apiece. So, excuse me, a little bit of a cold forming. So it's they've got a decent attacking front too that we kind of need to be wary of, and we obviously. Yes, we lost at midweek. However, we do have one of the stingiest defences in terms of goals conceded. So that's going to be an interesting battle, I feel. In terms of their overall kind of aggressiveness in how they play, you've got... there's 3 players there that are on yellow cards. So Eccles... That's Buburia, however you pronounce his name, and McFadden as well. And you've got Bidwell that's in there, that's on 3 yellow cards as well. No reds yet, though, which is, I suppose, an interesting stat to go with overall. But just in terms of a little bit more in depth of how they played against Southampton in the draw against Southampton overall, one of the positives, just looking at whoscored.com in terms of the positives and stats and stuff that they did, they managed to create a high number of chances relative to their actual possession. Now, from memory, overall, their possession was very low in this game. I think Southampton had somewhere near 70% possession in this match, from memory. And yet Coventry still managed to create 11 shots, which was quite good. So 6 of them in open play, 4 set pieces, and 1 was a counter-attack. Their conversion rate, 9%. So obviously they scored the 1 goal into that one there. One of their weaknesses in the game against Southampton was that they managed to lose possession quite a fair number of times. So that's something to look out for. If our press is on, we could have a good chance to be able to pull back possession should we ever lose, or if we're trying to get possession back from that. In this game as well, from a stylistic point of view, and it's for me, it's important because Southampton play a very similar way to what we play now in terms of how we kind of progress and play the ball. So Coventry were favouring long shots a lot more. They attacked a lot down the left-hand side, so our right-back's going to have to be on it, I think, and had a high shot frequency when in possession. So they were looking to obviously shoot and pretty much on sight, I think, would be the excuse me, the correct way of saying it in terms of how they actually played. When you look at in terms of position that they actually played, and this is what I was going back to in terms of the 4-4-2 that Sky say that they like to play. When you look at the actual overall position of the actual team, they're more playing, or their positional sense is more of a 4-3-3-2, if that makes sense. So it's that kind of 2, a 3, a 3, and a 2 in terms of overall position of how they play. That could potentially be difficult for us in terms of our midfield and our midfield getting overrun slightly. But again, looking at it in terms of positional sense in the field, there are statistically 4 of their players are playing more in the attacking sense, and the remaining 6 I couldn't do simple maths then. The remaining 6 are more kind of in their own half, with their number 14 and number 8 are pretty much stuck central position in the centre circle for the majority of the game overall. So I think what we're going to be looking at is that, and we've discussed it before, is we're going to have to overcome that mid/low block that we seem to really, really struggle with overall. So for me, the biggest thing that we have to do in this game is that we have to be fast from the start. It needs to be fast-paced. It needs to be quick. It needs to be on it and on them from the start. We cannot allow Coventry to dictate the pace to us in the same way that we allowed that to happen in our previous game. It just in terms of the way we played and how it all kind of panned out. We can't allow that to happen. We can't allow that in terms of passing left and right and back like we were doing in the last game. We have to be quick. We have to be on it. We have to be incisive. I want us to look for that rather than a through ball, maybe more of a ball over the top, using the channels a little bit more. So maybe Ampadu spraying the ball to the right-hand side, to the left-hand side, and make use of Dan James's pace if he's playing. For me, I'd prefer to see Nonto playing. Make use of Nonto's pace. Make use of Somerville's pace in terms of on the wings and being able to cut in an attack. And it's not going to happen, but I'd love to see Rutter and Perot just swap positions just for this game, just to see how it goes. They can, not even just to swap positions for the entire game, just to interchange. If we are fast, if we are quick, if we are on it, we should be absolutely all over them, and we should win. We should win. We're still second in the overall form chart. I think it will be an even contest-ish to start with, but I think if we are, like I said, if we're playing at that quick pace that we can do, and as we've seen, if we're moving it fast, if we're getting on it quickly, teams can't touch us because our front 4 it's just too good. And again, nothing against Coventry. That's just my opinion in terms of how Leeds need to actually play it. I just want to see us play fast and go at them from the start. Don't sit back and don't wait for things to happen. We need to absolutely be on it, and we need to kind of make up for midweek. So we're owed one. I can see it being a nervy 2-1 win to us. Potentially a slightly harder game than what we think, but if we play to our strengths, it should be a victory. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Also, again, as I've said, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Like the video as well, because that helps with the algorithm side of things. And pretty much that's going to do it for this one. Yeah. I'm more nervous than what I should be, but we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Cheers.